Well, back working in blueberries today. It's not a nice day. Hasn't been a nice day for a week. Some big rainstorms. This afternoon was supposed to be chances of showers, so I had stuff I had to do. Big clouds rolling through, cold wind blowing. Every once in a while it starts raining and hailing. It's just yuck. But stuff's got to get done, so I'm in them. At least I'm not in rain gear. It's not that bad. Trying to pull some nukes. I've got some of these, the queens that came with the colonies I bought, and have built these colonies up really well. I'm also trying to get through the ones that were requeening themselves to see how they're doing. Some of them are have not requeened. Some are starting to cap brood. So it's about where we figured it should be. I just wish I had better weather so I could work them better. I need to get better nutrition on them here in the blueberries. Some frames I had marked pollen frames, which means they had a lot of pollen on them, are completely empty of pollen. So they're consuming that quickly. There isn't a lot of really good nutrition in the blueberries for them, so keeping nutrition on them is pretty important. I've found a few with some pretty bad brood stuff going on that I've got to, try to solve. Other ones with none. So this cold, wet, damp weather tends to bring on chalk brood, and I tend to have a problem with it anyway, so it's not getting any better. I'm also at the same time trying to take care of my dirty frames, right? You guys know how I am, and I like my stuff to be pretty taken care of. So I'm putting wood bleach, oxalic acid strips on my frames to keep them nice and clean. I just put a couple of them over the brood nest area and let the bees track the wood bleach around and keep my frames good and clean. So there you go. It is labeled for that. There's no law, no rule against using wood bleach to bleach wood. So if anybody out there is concerned that they're putting oxalic acid in their colony and it's not labeled for varroa control, well, don't use it for varroa control. Use it for bleaching wood, which is what it's labeled for. So there's the whole thing right there. It works on varroa control, so let's get it in there and clean those frames. They need to stay clean. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I may set you up here and show you me going through one. With this nasty weather, it's kind of hectic and frustrating, so we'll see. Some of the bees are a little mean. Well, let's go ahead and go in this one. It looks like it's not going to rain. Get you set up and maybe you can see something. So this is one of them that did not requeen, or did not have a queen, so it should be requeening. I have it marked that I have seen a virgin in it. Some of those are back laying and some didn't make it back. So when you get bad weather like this, a trick to keeping them under control is to just crack the lid and get some smoke under it and then close it. Let that smoke move around. Don't open it up and get them worked up first and then try to smoke them and calm them down. Let them move that smoke through the colony. It won't take them just a little bit. And they'll be a lot calmer when you start working them and smoking them. Is, with the weather we've got right now, you can hardly hold against them being a little upset that you're opening the box and crawling around in here. Doesn't mean I don't get mad when they sting me. They are pulling a little nectar in. I want to check upstairs here real quick just to see if she started laying up here, if she even made it back. Sometimes they will start up on the top, sometimes they will start on the bottom, but looks like we're mostly doing honey up here. I don't see a frame up here marked with a QC, which is what I would have put on it if I saw a queen cell on it. I got eggs. So either it's got a queen or it's trying to go lay in worker, which I have one or two I think are. I mean, it's just barely at 30 days without. So the ones that look like they might be doing that, I threw in a queen pheromone strip and frame of brood to get them both the open brood pheromones and the queen pheromones, and hold them for a bit. I've got some cells getting ready to come out of the incubator real soon, and I can get those to them if they'll just hold off a minute. See more eggs in this one, so she's been laying for a bit. She may have started downstairs. There, I've got larvae. Where you at, sis? I'd like to find her, get her marked. Next time I get back in there might be twice as many bees in the darn box. Some of these queens are just super dark, beautiful dark queens, but man, they can be hard to find, especially if they're not up to full speed laying. See any eggs in that? Alright, not going to drag you guys through an every frame inspection. If I find her, I'll turn you on and mark her. Got her. Here she is, big yellow girl. And she's big enough and laying long enough. I'll catch her and mark her. A lot of times you've got one that just started laying, they're real flighty. They're not, you know, full on mature. They can still fly, and they're really jumpy and flighty, and it's real easy to get them to fly out of the colony when you get them marked. So they just screw around being crazy. I try to, if I do mark one, I try to make sure she's in the top of the cage when I put it back on there. Where an older mature queen, she can stay on that little foam pad, and I'll just let her walk down in. She's not going to fly anywhere. But a flighty young queen, I like to make sure that they're up on the top of the cage, and then I put it on top, and she'll walk down and in. If she spends too much time on top of the frames and she's young, there's a good chance she's going to try to fly. And then sometimes it's silly things, she keep climbing to the top even though they need to go down. Eventually she'll go down in there. Did she just go? I think she did. Yep, there she is. Marked him back in. Great. It's nice to have some of these coming back. The ones without them coming back are struggling. A lot of them have a lot of bees in them too. So I'll try to get cells in them, or some of my newly mated queens back into them pretty quick. I've got to get the nukes all together, and I need some of the mated queens for those. So anyway, we'll figure it out. Sure wish we had better weather. Almost forgot to show you guys how I do keep my frames clean here. These are soaked with glycerin and oxalic acid, or wood bleach. And I like to lay them on top of the frame, just like so, right above the brood nest, because that's where most of the bees are running around, and they're going to track it around my frames more and keep my frames clean. So see how nice and clean these frames are? This should help clean up the dirty ones. Anyway, just wanted to point that out.